I heard he had like a relationship with YoungBoy. You feel me? And you don't know how deep him and Von relationship was for him to supposedly have loyalty towards him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't think he ever supported him during his career, and then when Von died, he never posted RIP.
What if he don't even know Von?
Yeah.
Nah, they know each other. There's a video of them in the studio and shit when Von was
But that don't mean you know him.
I mean, it's enough for you to invite him to a studio
He could have been there with a motherfucker and the motherfucker brought Von. And he just sat there quiet the whole time. That don't mean that could have been the only time they been in cahoots with each other. You can't say that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, like.
What up? Who's winning, Warriors or Celtics? Hey.
You're a very handsome in person.
You want me to take you on a date?
Do you want to take me on a date?
Yeah.
You can take me on a date. How old are you?
I'm 18.
I have a feeling we can go wherever we want to go, even with you being 18.
For sure.
Okay.
No, you good.
Hey, why you and Keef don't be making music? Like, I be wanting y'all to, like.
It ain't me and Keef, man. Like, Keef, that's my dog. Some of the people from my block, like, who got real names, they talk to Keef. So, like, it's nothing. Like, I was just finna bring Keef on tour.
Okay, see, I'm not, because the internet been saying y'all been secretly beefing. I promise you, I'm not making this up, I swear.
I gotta start getting more into the internet. I promise you I don't be on there looking.
I swear, they said that you be dissing Keef
Why?
for not taking care of the guys.
If Keef don't take care of his guys, Keef just don't take care of his guys. If Keef take care of his guys, Keef take care of his guys.
Have you mentioned him about taking care of his guys or not?
I never heard him not taking care of his guys. That kills that. How the they stick me into it? These people crazy.
You know, what do you think about that, man? And can Chief Keef come back? I still talk to him. I still get me still on FaceTime. So, I hear DM me back. Everybody want me to talk about it, man. Chief keeping NBA YoungBoy did a song together, man. And people talking about that he ain't loyal to King Van or Dirk or none of that. Hey, look, bro. I know y'all don't know y'all history, though. Y'all are not gonna believe the type of snake Chief Keef just pulled on his own block. This man really linked up with NBA YoungBoy, the same YN that's beefing with his dead homie King Van's crew. But wait, it gets way worse. OBlock members are now planning to backdoor Sosa and ban him from Chicago forever. Let me break down how this whole situation got this messy, no cap. Yo, before we get into this crazy story, y'all gotta understand how deep this betrayal really goes. We talking about a man who grew up with these same people, ate with them, slept in the same buildings, and now he's linking with their biggest op. That's some next level disrespectful type for real. This isn't just about music. This is about loyalty, street code, and how money can make an YN forget where he came from. So, let me break it down for y'all from the beginning, because this story goes way deeper than most people know. Chief Keef wasn't always this rich, famous rapper living in mansions and driving Lamborghinis. This YN was straight up raised in OBlock, hanging around real killers and shooters every single day. We talking about Parkway Gardens, one of the most dangerous housing projects in Chicago, where YNs like King Von, Boss Top, T-Roy, and the whole crew was really putting in work on these streets. Keef was just another shorty from the block, but he had something different. He could rap, and he had that raw energy that came from living that life for real. When he was coming up, he wasn't just rapping about the streets, he was living it. This man was getting arrested, getting into shootouts, and really about that action just like everybody else from his block. The crazy part is Key was actually more from Front Street than OBlock specifically, but all these sets, Front Street, 300, OBlock, they all Black disciples and they all clicked up together. So when we say OBlock, we really talking about that whole alliance of sets that was moving together. And when that I Don't Like song dropped in 2012, bro went from 0 to 100 real quick. $6 million deal with Interscope Records. And just like that, this YN was out. But here's the thing, success came so fast that Keef didn't even have time to process what was happening. One day he's just another teenager from the projects. Next day he's got millions and the whole world watching him. But here's where it gets crazy. The moment Sosa got that bag, He packed up and moved straight to LA. No looking back, no bringing the whole crew with him. This man only took like 3 people from his whole block. 3 people, gang. Out of all the homies who had his back when he was broke, who was riding with him when he had nothing, only 3 made it out with him. Think about that for a second. You got a whole block of YNs who was with you through everything, who was protecting you, who was making sure you was good when you didn't have nothing. And when you finally make it, when you finally get that opportunity to change not just your life, but everybody's life, you just dip and leave them behind. That's exactly what Chief Keef did. He took his closest homies like Ball Out and Tao, but everybody else, they was left in Chicago, still dealing with the same problems, still in the same dangerous situation, still struggling to survive. And that created some serious resentment because these YNs felt like Sosa forgot about them the moment he got rich. The homies back in Chicago started seeing a different Chief Keef. This wasn't the same shorty who used to be on the block with them, sharing whatever little money they had, looking out for each other. Now he's posting on Instagram, flashing all this money, buying expensive cars and jewelry, living in mansions. But his own people back home, they still struggling, still in the trenches, still fighting the same battles they was fighting before he made it. And yo, that's when the money and fame really got to his head. Y'all gotta understand, when you come from nothing and suddenly you got millions, that can change you quick. But it's how you handle that change that shows your character. Some people get rich and bring everybody with them. Other people get rich and act like they don't know where they came from. Sosa chose the second option. And that's what started all this drama. He went from being just another YN from OBlock to thinking he was too good for his own people. He started moving different, talking different, and acting like he was above the block that made him who he was. The crazy part is Chief Keef's music was still talking about OBlock, still rapping his set, still dissing their ops. So he was using his connection to the block to make money and build his brand. But when it came time to actually help his people, he was nowhere to be found. That's some fake right there. And the homies started peeping that real quickly. King Von used to speak on this all the time. He would say how Sosa would be on Instagram posting all these guns, talking about how he's putting bangers on the block. But when it came time to actually help the block, he wasn't doing nothing. Van felt like that was some clown. You can't be talking about how you're helping when you ain't really helping. But wait, here's where this whole beef really started. And this is some real street politics type that most people don't understand. So there was this YN from OBlock named Trey 5 who got locked up on some gun charges. His bond was set at $25,000, but you only got to put up 10% of that to get somebody out. So they needed about $2,500 to get their homie out of jail. Now, this might not sound like a lot of money to some people, but when you're from the projects and you're broke, $2,500 might as well be $25,000. That's a lot of money when you isn't got nothing. So King Von, Boss Top, and all the other OBlock members, they started doing whatever they could to get that money together. They was robbing. They was hustling. They was doing everything possible to get their boy out of jail. They was hitting licks, selling whatever they could sell, and trying every hustle they knew. But even after all that, they still didn't have enough money to get Trey 5 out. So they did what anybody would do when they got a rich homie. They called up Chief Keef. This man just signed a $6 million deal with Interscope. So $2,500 should be like pocket change to him, right? They call in Sosa like, yo, we need you to help us get our boy out. You know, we all family. We all from the same block. This is what we do for each other. And you know what this YN Keef kept saying? Yeah, I got y'all. I'ma send that money. Just give me a minute. Let me handle some business first. But days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months, and Sosa never sent that money. He kept stalling them, kept making excuses, kept telling them he was going to handle it, but never did. Tay Capone spoke on this whole situation, and he broke it down perfectly. He said Keef had been spinning them about this for so long that they felt like they gave him enough time to act on the situation. They felt like their rich homie who got the means to do it just isn't doing it, so they had to take matters into their own hands. And that's when got real crazy, gang. King Von, Boss Top, and some other OBlock members decided if Sosa wasn't going to help them willingly, they was going to take what they needed. They felt like since Keef was playing games with them, since he was acting like he was too good to help his own people, They had every right to take what they needed from him. On March 27, 2014, they pulled up to Chief Keef's manager's house in Highland Park where Sosa was staying. But this wasn't no friendly visit. This was a straight-up home invasion. They broke into that house and started taking everything they could get their hands on. According to the Chicago Police Department reports that got leaked later, they took Chief Keef's car. They took a bunch of designer clothes and expensive stuff. And Boss Top even went into Keef's daughter's room and took some of her clothes, plus some detergent and deodorant. Like, bro, you really going to steal a baby's clothes? That's some next-level petty right there. But it shows how mad they was at Sosa. But the craziest part during all this, somebody got shot and ended up in the ICU. The police classified this whole situation as a home invasion/attempted murder case. They named Boss Top and several other OBlock members as suspects in the case. And they was looking at some serious time if they got caught. And you know what Chief Keef did after this? His manager called the police. And Sosa got on Twitter calling his own manager a soft ass for calling the cops. This man was madder at his manager for calling the police than he was at his own homies for robbing him. Then he tweeted, "R.I.P. Boss Top" before deleting it, which people took as either, "you're dead to me," or maybe he thought he actually killed Boss Top when he was shooting back at the intruders. The whole situation was messy as hell, and it created a permanent divide between Chief Keef and his block. From that day forward, it was never the same between them. But yo, it gets even worse. During this whole home invasion situation, Boss Top managed to snatch Chief Keef's chain. And this wasn't just any chain. This was Sosa's signature piece, his pride and joy, the chain that everybody knew him for. For months, Boss Top held onto that chain, and nobody really knew what happened to it. But then Lil Durk exposed the whole situation in a diss track. He literally said, "Boss Top got your chain," and let the whole world know that Chief Keef got robbed by his own people. That was probably one of the most embarrassing moments in Chief Keef's career. Getting your chain snatched is bad enough, but getting it snatched by your own homies and then having another rapper expose it to the world, that's some next-level humiliation right there.